This is the best day.
Best day of my life.
Bugün hayatımın en
Aujourd'hui, c'est
güzel
le plus beau
günü.
jour de ma vie.
Bugün
Yani
hayatımın en güzel günü.
bu
What
anı
I'm trying
yaşamak
to say is that living this
bildiğin zaman
moment,
her an en güzel an oluyor.
I mean, when you are in the moment, every moment is the best moment in your life. So I learned how to live the moment.
Yani sizlerle beraber burada olduğum için
I am so happy to be together with you today. And I love you. I love each and every one of you. And you are all perfect.
bunu söylemek biraz tuhaf geliyor.
And maybe it sounds a little bit weird when I say this, but I say this so wholeheartedly. I love you. I love you all. Why? And that's what I'm going to talk about, and why you are perfect. That's what I will speak about as well.
Birkaç
In my life, I had a few experiences. I had met some very extraordinary people, and I'm going to talk about the stories of those people. I was 17 years old, and there was a trip to the US. Can I go there? Of course you can. How will I pay? You will work. But the parents of my friends are paying for the trip. No, you cannot do that. Anyway, I worked. And I went to the States and I learned something very, very important. I can work and earn the money to go to the States. I actually opened my a world in front of me, and I still travel around the world. So my dad
kameramı hediye etti. Bana teşekkür
gave me my first camera as a present to congratulate me. And since then I have two passions: photography
hayatımda işim. Çekiyorum,
and traveling. So I travel, I take photos, I share it with others, and then I travel again. Once my friends called me to, let's go to Ouagadougou. I said, are you making fun of the African people? No, actually there was such a capital, and people were so poor. I couldn't believe my eyes. I had never seen anything or anyone so poor. Poor meant the poor in Turkey for me. Poor meant the poor in Europe for me. But when I saw that poverty, and when I came back to my country, I prayed every day for being able to eat, for being able to sleep in a bed. And I also learned that the African people has such a rich heart. They have nothing, but they share with you everything they have. So I learned how to open my heart. One day I was in India. India is a rich country, but still people are very poor. They're so poor that I've seen people die on the streets in front of my eyes. And when you see people die in front of your eyes, you really don't get attached to wealth or money or anything else. It's so difficult for you to get attached to material things. I went to Jerusalem. There's such a different energy there, of course, with the power of the religions, be it Christian or Jewish or Muslim. Everyone believes there. Everyone has that amazing faith, and I learned how to love all the religions in Jerusalem. Here we are in Croatia. We're hitchhiking, and the cars don't stop, and the motorcycle stopped, but we're two people. So how will we ride on a motorcycle? But he helped us. He said, I have 1.5 hour break. Get the motorbike, go wherever you want to go and bring it back. And we did it. A complete stranger gave us his motorbike. And I learned how to trust people. I went to the desert. We're shooting a documentary, and the conditions are so challenging. I mean, I didn't pose here, by the way. It was so hard to bring out the camera out of the bag because of the heat, and I cut my finger at that point. And this is Hassan, the chief that was riding us with the camels, and I told Hassan that I cut my finger. I showed him my finger. He doesn't say anything, but we're used to, running to our mom when we have a stomach ache and, complaining, and they give us medicine, but he doesn't say anything. A day later, I realized
kendi kendine kapanmış.
my cut healed on its own in a day. So I started thinking differently. When we have a pain in our stomach, it's like the end of the world for us. But if you give it a thought, it will pass. It will pass in a day or in 2 days. When you look at it from that perspective, you don't feel the pain anymore and you forget about the pain. It's so interesting, really.
Afrika'ya.
And Africa, of course. Now we're in Ethiopia shooting another documentary. They live like they used to live 5,000 years ago. They have nothing, no buildings, no lights, no electricity, nothing. They don't even know that those things exist. They live with the soil and with the animals. And there,
O kadar bağlıyız ki
I mean,
telefonlara.
we're so attached to our mobile phones, cars, and everything. I get isolated there. I felt closer to nature, to soil. I learned to be closer to soil and nature.
400 geze 400 gezi yapmışım. 60
I traveled to 62 countries 400 times. I listened to different languages, met with different people from different cultures, different traditions, and I had the chance to meet so many excellent people.
Say you wanna party, say you wanna dance. You better know someone that finds you one of our friends. You wanna get higher, shake that ass, spin it round and round and round and round like that, like that,
So, going round and round, I said, why don't I do a world tour? And I said, let's do this world tour in 80 days and let's do it without money. How can this happen? No one believed us at first.
Yani 80 günde parasız pulsuz
So
dünyada yapmak.
80
Yani bu
days
dünya-
around the world.
bize yardım edeceğine
And
inanarak
I mean,
yapıyoruz. Ama
we
tabii
believe that people would help us, but of course it's not easy. You start the day without any money, you hitchhike, where will you eat, where will you sleep? Every night you sleep in a different place, you talk to people, you talk to many more people. It is a difficult situation, really.
arkadaşımla
This is my friend Miran. Together we went there. We called it the optimistic traveler.
sosyal medyadan attık.
And we have announced it in the social media. I mean, we asked people, we're going on a world tour around the world in 80 days. With Miran, we had met in
Strasbourg'dan
Berlin, and we made a test
ömür boyu
trip. We realized that we've been competing
devamlı en güzel olacağını
all our lives, competing to be the best in sports, the best in school. It was so hard to leave this behind us. We said, I mean, let's leave all these prejudgments. And we became like two brothers, by the way, during the world tour, and we still traveled together.
dünya turu Paris,
To go around the world, I mean, we started in Paris,
Asya,
Europe, Asia, America,
Afrika'dan
and a small part of Africa, Spain, and ended in Paris again.
yolculuk başlıyor. Bütün Avrupa
Now, we traveled through Europe, we traveled through Turkey as well. Everyone is so hospitable. And we came to Muş. In Muş, the governor took us to a village wedding. It was so beautiful. Turkish, Kurdish, German, French, we all sing and dance together. We're eating and
dünya turundayız
But of course, we're in a world tour. We have 80 days. We have to be on the road. And then suddenly they leave us to a road, and we just wait there, and no one accepts us in their vehicles. So what I'm trying to say that there were highs and lows of the trip. And here we are in Iran. Well, listening to the news, you would think that all Iranian nation got together to build a bomb.
Oraya vardık baktık ki
We arrived there and we've seen that no, that's not the case. There are ordinary people like you and me. It's a beautiful country. And there, I mean, before we went to Iran, people were warning us, don't talk to the girls, don't talk to women, you will be put into jail. And we saw this lady, she invited us to her house, and we met her family in her house, and she traveled with us until Isfahan. And here we met Iskender. He is a Sufi.
Leyli İran'da bir kızla
And so together with a Sufi in Iran and the girl and us, we slept at the same house on the floor one night. Sima, we met her on the bus. 5 minutes later, she called her mom. She said, I found 2 travelers. Can I invite them home? Her mom said yes, and we celebrated the Bayram together. And her dad was a Haji, by the way. And we danced together. In Iran, it's forbidden to sing and dance, but we did everything.
böyle güzel bir
That was the beautiful ground table. So we continued. Here we are in Pakistan. These are very, very difficult geographies. Sometimes police stops you. And we met this man in India.
içinde Allah var diyor.
He says, there's God in every person.
Aslında
And we think about this sentence.
sevebilirsek
If you can love everyone like you love the God, and if everyone loves each other like they love the God, the world will become a completely different place. And this is the Ganga River. And here it is the dirtiest rivers in the world. Like in the books, it says don't even put your finger in it. But the people, they believe that if you swim in the Ganga River, all the evil will go out of your body. You will be reborn like a new baby. And as you see, I've tried it. And as you see here now, I'm like a reborn baby.
iftekar.
Iftekar.
Onunla geziyoruz. Yemek
We
yiyoruz, zaman
go
geçiriyoruz,
around with him, we
geçiriyoruz.
spend time with him. He takes us to the newspaper, etc. And then he talks about his businesses. He has so many businesses. And we ask him, how do you spend so much time with us? He says, for us, the most important thing is to give your time to your guests. And then I realize in my ordinary life, I'm like all the time, I don't have time to this, I don't have time to that, I don't have time to this. Now I never say that again. I always say, I have time.
Yolculuk devam, Tayland.
So the journey continues. Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Europe and Asia is covered. 14 countries, 16,000 kilometers. And now comes the States, America. We meet with this girl, and she likes our trip, and she invites us to their hotel. We say, well, we'd rather come to your house because, we don't have money. They say, it's okay, let's go to our hotel. And it's a palace. I've never seen anything like that before. I mean, we slept with the bugs, we slept on the grass, we slept in so many different places. We said, we cannot really sleep on the palace. And she said, no, just rest. And we asked for help for our plane ticket, and they helped us for our plane ticket as well. This is the hotel, by the way. This is
GB Wood'la karşılaştık.
where we met Jimmy Wood. He has a massive house. He has so many toilets in the house, he gets confused to which one to go. But now he bought a smaller house and he says he's much happier. So it's not money that brings you happiness. And Jimmy Wood, he had a very luxurious car, and we were going around the city, and we're really hungry and we cannot ask for food, but we're driving in a luxurious car. Then we spent 3 days with them, and before we left he said, I'm your father from now on, and you have to call me before taking a major step in your lives. How can this happen? How can you spend 3 days with a man and he says, I'm your father from now on? I mean, it takes years to build friendships, but in fact I realized that bonding with other people in fact is much easier and much faster. Here we are in Denver, minus 26. We cannot stay outside. We get on the bus to feel warm, and I see this woman, homeless. She's living outside. I can't even stand outside 5 minutes, and she lives there. And I really dreamed of a world without any homeless people, and I started this project in Strasbourg, by the way. Now we started with 2 people. 6,000 people are helping us on Facebook, and hopefully this campaign will continue. Then we met this man. We went to Haiti. We funded $7,500 and helped the schools. This is Melissa. We met her on the train, and oh my God, we met her on the train, and there's nothing to laugh about it, indeed. I mean, we talked, we slept because the train, we slept on the train. In the morning, she left a letter. And do you know what said in the letter? She said, I was going to death with this train, but I changed my mind. So if we did change one person's life, how happy we are. This is Sibi from who took us to United Nations. So thousands of people helped us. Don't you think these people are perfect?
Siz de mükemmelsiniz.
You are all perfect as well, and you know that you are perfect. Who knows better than you that you are perfect? Do you know how good person you are? You know what good deeds you've done in this life, and you have to just, sometimes you think, I'm such a good person, why don't the others see that? But don't forget that the others are perfect as well, and adjust your settings so that your perfect side is more out there.
I hope all the world having peace life everywhere in the world.
Say you wanna party, say you wanna dance. You better know someone that finds you one of our friends. You wanna get higher, shake that ass, spin it round and round and round and round like that, like confess your sins and get down on your knees. I'll be good to ya if you're good to me.
başardık. Yaptık.
So we did it. We actually succeeded in it. And no one believed it. No one still believes it. But we did it. Do you know what does this mean? It means that if you can travel around the world without money, then you can do anything you want. But you just have to chase your dreams. And I really hope that you will all accomplish your dreams. Let me conclude with a story. There was a researcher in Africa who prepares a fruit and puts this fruit bowl in the middle and tells the children to run until the tree, and whoever touches the tree first wins the fruits. The kids hold hands and they dance and they go towards the tree slowly and they all touch the tree at the same time. And they come back and share the fruits. And the researcher says, "What did you do?" They say Ubuntu, which means my happiness depends on your happiness.